Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Around the Mat, the show that was once retweeted by Metamoris before promptly being deleted by Metamoris. That's right, you guys. We're here to preview Metamoris 5, and we've got another stellar panel here to talk about all of the matches and to preview everything that you want to know and some things you don't. Joining us today, we have Amici Akpom, the Kit Dale to my Gary Tonin. How are you doing today, Amici?
Fabuloso. Thank you for having me here, my friend. I always love talking to you.
I'm sorry, I was going to call you Kit just because your portrayal of him was so captivating. Has your life changed since playing Kit Dale?
Women throw themselves at me, even more than beforehand. I smell better, and I croon like, I don't know, Bublé. It's amazing.
That's fair. I do notice that people expect my jiu-jitsu should be better after playing Gary Tonin. Not the case. Let's also give a nice welcome to our friend Jen Perez. Jen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
The question to you, though, is what are you doing here? Like, why are you spending time with us?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like you have better things to do.
I do.
Can I let you in a little bit of a secret, though, Jen?
Yeah, of course.
You know what we do that Metamoris doesn't?
What? What do you guys say?
Include women in our panel.
Yes.
We actually find them to be quite
Well,
awesome
thank you for
and,
that.
utilize
Thanks
them.
for treating me equally.
As opposed to Metamoris, which hasn't had a women's match since Metamoris 2, but that's neither here nor there. Welcome to the panel, Jen.
Thank you.
Let's also talk to our good friend. You know him, you love him, the guy behind BJJ Breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, say hi to John Evans.
How's it going?
Good, John. I have a question for you. My question is, Copa Podio is airing on the same day as Metamoris. Dick move by Metamoris? Question mark.
Hashtag yes, it is. No, I mean, I'm sure it was planned that way. They're just trying to compete, although their stream is notorious for being terrible, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. But I'm sure people in Brazil will watch it.
I was going to introduce Kevin, but he's been replaced by a sign that just says hashtag yes. All the way from the trash compactor that he lives in, my co-host and your friend, Kevin Phillips. Kevin, how are you doing?
I'm wearing Justin Rader's shirt, which means I'm ready to roll. Hybrid success on my podcasting ability tonight. Big thanks to him for empowering me with the gift. I put it on, and all of a sudden I felt like I could just start sweeping people with that front sort of like guillotine headlock he does, start chasing that anaconda choke. It's going to happen only verbally, and my target is John Evans and half of Amici's face. I don't want to do the whole thing because I like him. I like his jib. He ping-pongs back on whether or not he's cool. He does that.
Hold on,
But definitely.
He gave you a DVD, Kevin?
What?
He gave you a DVD?
No, he gave me this awesome shirt. It's a really cool.
Oh, that's really weird because I ended up getting a DVD, a hybrid success.
I knew he liked you better. I knew he liked you better.
All right, so the funny thing about this Metamoris is Metamoris 5 is going to have a secret match again. My question right up top to John Evans: did they not learn anything from the last secret match?
Apparently not. But I think as long as we don't have one of the commentators being a part of the secret match, we'll probably be okay. But there is a good chance that both commentators will have to fight each other to the death.
Is that something you'd like to see?
I don't know. I don't know how much more donkey guard I could take, but it could be nice to see, though.
I think if the commentators are going to be in any part of any match, they should have to narrate their match with their headsets on. That's only fair. It's like, it looks like Kenny doesn't know I'm about to shoot in for a double here. Amici, do you have people that you would like to see in the secret match?
I mean, there's people that I would like to see, but they're all some huge names. I like seeing Galvao every time he competes. I like seeing Marcelo Garcia every single time. Cobrinha's sick. I mean, just any of the top names, really. I just want to see some good jiu-jitsu, man. I'm not that picky. Names or no names, as long as people out there going for it and not stalling. I just want to see.
Jen, I have to ask this over to you. Do you think it was a missed opportunity in that last Metamoris event to not have women on that card?
Yes, of course. I think it's a missed opportunity at every event. You should have women at the events. We fight hard, and we're very competitive, and I think we're fun to watch.
This definite highlight of Metamoris 2 was the ladies' match. That was one of the most fun aspects of it. But I think that some people argue that you couldn't just name off names of competitors of people who would just be competing at Metamoris. Like, you know, would you just have people off the top of your head you could name?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to see maybe a rematch between Michelle Nicolini and Tammy Musameshi. So I think that would be a great rematch.
Oh, what's that? Oh, you can name them off the top of your head, and it's not that hard to do? Oh, I get it now. What a weird concept, Metamoris. Hashtag yes over there.
Hashtag yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
I can't believe they don't have women. I mean, Amichi's available. That would be a redeeming factor. Let's bring this conversation back together. That would be a redeeming factor of the secret match, because I swear to God, Raph, if it's Jeff Glover again, I'm never watching Metamoris again.
I don't think you'd actually follow up on that.
But I'm trying to talk bold. I'm on camera. Like, give me a second. So the next thing, though, if it's Jeff Glover versus Yoshida again, I'm 1,000% in and will never miss another Metamoris.
So they're doubling down on that last match?
Yeah.
Just going to do it again because they're like, yeah, you guys didn't get enough of this last time.
Yeah. This is the match everyone needs finality to. We need closure to Barrett Yoshida versus Jeff Glover. But if Michelle Nicolini is on the card and she's fighting, I'm in.
For sure.
Okay.
Or Mackenzie Dern and
Oh, yeah, let's be super clear. Or if Mackenzie Dern is fighting, hey, that's a rematch I would rather see. Way more than Yoshida Glover.
Let's not get Barrett Yoshida to think the wrong thing here. He is a great competitor, warrior. However, we have problems with how they marketed that last secret match. We thought it was a missed opportunity. John, do you have people you would like to see in a secret match?
People talked about like a Ronda Rousey or something like that.
I have that. I have Ronda on my list.
Especially with the shit talking she did about sport jiu-jitsu. So I think awesome. Have her put her money where her mouth is. I think a lot of people would love to see that, but she's also really high profile, so I don't know if that's even a possibility.
Yeah, she's high profile, but if she had the nerve to go on and talk about how she can beat anybody in jiu-jitsu or any female in the world, then why let money stop her from proving that point?
I think it's contractual.
I mean,
Dana White stops fighters from riding motorcycles, you know, when they're on contract, I've heard, because, you know, you don't want to get injured and lose a fight. And she is a cash cow, not only for the women's division, but for mixed martial arts, period. So Dana's probably like, sure, shoot as many movies as you want, but if there's a dangerous stunt, someone else is doing it. No submission grappling for you. Even a loss, you know, or even just a draw, I think could hurt her reputation. So I think I'd love to see her compete. So if it's a dream team, yeah, I'd love to see Ronda go out there and toss some people. I just think there's no way UFC would ever let that happen.
I don't know if that's true, though, because Benson Henderson was, when he was
he
was competing at the Worlds. So, I mean, I know he had to plead with Dana to let him do that, but he did.
I like Ben, but he's not Ronda. You know what I mean? Like
that was Carmouche. Carmouche just competed at Nogi Worlds.
Again, that's not Ronda. I think it's a different game.
I was just gonna say I have suggestions for the secret match, Raph, that I think would spruce it up.
To having a list.
Well, first and foremost is Gabby Garcia versus Josh Barnett. Seems super obvious, like both in condition. Let's get some resolution. And the next, Joe Rogan versus 2 pounds of marijuana, I think is a real winner.
Eddie Bravo referees it. If so, I think that.
I'd even let them tag team that match.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna ask each of you guys, real quick, what are the things that you would not like to see in the secret match?
I don't know. What was that rematch with Salo and Comprido, where they sat there in the gi with that the old school jiu-jitsu? That's the real world stuff. That's definitely not stalling. Like that probably would bore me to tears. Even though I love both of them, it just, for whatever reason, I think because maybe
no, it doesn't sound like it right there, John. So you need to clean that up very quickly.
They were so closely matched, and the gi can be less exciting, especially when you have two guys that are really strong, good with making grips, less movement, and it was just not as exciting of a match as it could have been, especially because both of them are good with takedowns, and didn't work out. Although I love the concept, though. I love seeing like a Masters division, but on the main stage. That would be, I mean, I think something like that would even be cool for like UFC, where if they have like Randy Couture versus Fedor or something like that. I think that's awesome, and you could do that as a grappling match as well, which I would also.
Either if it's going to be a secret match, either it needs to be people who are big enough names to warrant like, oh wow, that's really exciting, but then that shoots you in the foot because you didn't use it for your marketing, so it hurt the event. And then, or two, if it's folks that you don't necessarily know that much about or aren't huge names, but they really go for it. So it just really needs to, you're selling the sizzle here, right? And it just, the steak needs to match up to it. That's my opinion.
What I wouldn't want to see is another, like, Master Cyborg and Brendan Schaub event. Like, if a match like that can be avoided, I think that'd be awesome.
You mean the holy grail of Metamoris matches? What are you talking about? I think we all aspire to have matches that are as cardio-based as Schaub versus Cyborg, at least once in our lives. Kev, what are the things that you would not like to see?
I'm really not interested in people from different decades, if that makes sense. Like I would just like to see someone. I'm done. I can't recover after that.
Different decades. That's Kevin's bugaboo.
I want them in like the same general.
No, it's
cadence.
You know what though? Kev is now really embracing that beanie and the power it gives it. It's like, man, I don't want to see like people from like different like decades, because then my mind's gonna get all freaked out, man. All right. Well, I think that'll exhaust the secret match. But let's move on to our next match.
Choose your destiny.
All right, guys. Our next match is Garry Lee Tonin. Sometimes there's the Lee in there. Sometimes there's not. Versus Zach Maxwell. I'm going to go ahead and start off by asking John. John, set up the scene for us. What can we expect from this match?
Fireworks, I think. It's exciting. Tonin is just on fire right now. Like everything he does, I will watch because it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun to watch. He's really energetic, which, whether he wins or not, it really doesn't even matter, just because it's going to be fun. The only thing that I don't love about it is that even though Zach is really great against bigger opponents, Tonin, I believe, is a bit bigger than him. Maybe not. I know he cuts a bit of weight, but he just seems like his frame is a bit bigger than Zach. And he is, if it were the gi, I would say Zach has a decided advantage. But being that it's no gi, I'm just not really sure how good that is for Zach. So maybe with the size and the no gi, it should be in favor of Garry, which I don't know. It should be interesting. It'll be a good fight no matter what.
All right, Jennifer, I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you feel that right now there is an advantage going Garry's way, maybe because it is in no-gi? Do you feel that he is the favorite in this match? And if so, why?
I do. I think that Garry has a better advantage because I don't know, I do see him competing more in no-gi, and just his performance as an athlete in Jiu-Jitsu without the gi is much better.
Kev, do you think that if it was in the gi, it would be an advantage to Zach Maxwell?
I actually do. I think Zach Maxwell spends a lot of time in the gi. I'm excited to see this match no gi. I really am. I can't speak much to Garry Tonin's skill level. I'm sure it's exceptionally high in the gi, but I know I'm stoked. I'm stoked to see the results of just the lack of friction is going to cause with these two. I think it's going to get us some really high caliber positions, and neither of them they don't like to hang out in positions, either of them, very much. Zach Maxwell will take top, but this is going to be a crazy fight with a lot of transitions. I also think it's going to end quick. I'm calling under 7 minutes.
We're not there yet, so hold your horse.
I forged ahead because unlike what my teacher said in math in first grade, I do belong in the advanced group, Raph.
First grade in reference to you being in preschool, or was that in first grade them referencing Kev, you're 16, come on?
Yeah, that was a year ago.
Now, are they in different decades? Because that would make a difference.
All right, let's give Kevin some time to simmer down. Amici, do you feel that Zach Maxwell can pull off the upset? If so, why?
I do think it would be an upset, like you're saying, if he won, but not because he's not good. I mean, he's amazing, he's great. And he fights against bigger opponents like Sean Roberts, right? Like, he was smaller in that match as well, and it didn't seem to affect him. Garry has momentum, and he's a beast. So I don't think it's going to be a shutout, but if I'm a betting man, I'm going with Garry.
No disrespect to Sean Roberts, but would you say that Garry is a little bit more of a faster jiu-jitsu player than Sean was? And if so, is that contributing to maybe why this match is going to be so incredibly well matched together?
Absolutely, and there's different types of jiu-jitsu, right? And Garry has that explosive type of jiu-jitsu, and he's like, 22 years old. He has the energy to do it. He's just an aggressive style. It's how he trains. This right here is the match I'm most excited in seeing.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and ask this. To all the panel, what do you think the celebratory food will be for Garry Tonin if he wins? I'm going to go ahead and start with John.
I'm going to go with a deep-fried Twinkie, just because that's about as disgusting as it gets, but delicious. So,
Okay.
yeah, definitely that.
I can't tell if you were answering on behalf of Garry or yourself, John.
I am very much craving a deep-fried Twinkie right now. That sounds incredible.
I work out so much. I'm so hungry.
Yeah, it's that cheat meal. You just got to do it big.
Kev, what do you think the food is going to be?
24 medium to hot wings from Hooters with a side of fries.
Okay. Jen?
I'm gonna say that disgusting burger they serve at In-N-Out with all the junk on top of it.
Whoa.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about just In-N-Out burger, or are you talking about the animal-style burger?
Oh,
Yeah, the animal-style burger.
Take a moment, because
Where are you
In-N-Out
from?
is an
Where are you
unofficial
from?
sponsor.
where are you from?
Wait.
That's not California, Doc.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with everybody here. I've never seen John get so street ever in my life.
You don't talk trash about me.
Amici, I'm afraid to ask you what you think the food will be in case you make the wrong choice like Jen just did.
Well, I feel like it's gonna be a matter of convenience, wherever's next to where he's staying. As happened last time, so he'll find something delicious and tasty and double down on it and jump up a weight class and then go have fun. That's what I think.
And then go compete in the secret match moments later. As we go down the line, I'm going to ask you guys how you think this match is going to end. And, you can say it's a draw if you think it's a submission, and say for who. Let's go ahead and start up top. Amici.
Let's say Garry leg lock.
Jen?
I say Garry choke.
Any particular choke? Because I feel like that's going to
Choke.
I say like he maybe like rear naked.
Okay.
Ooh.
John?
I think Gary's going to lose, but just because he'll be depressed about what Jen said in and out. So I know he's probably really psyched up about it, getting some doubles or triples afterwards, but he's just going to be distraught and he won't be able to hit his moves. So
Good point.
Strong analysis as always from BJJ Breakdown. Kevin?
Zach Maxwell via armbar.
Whoa.
All right, guys, let's go to our next match.
Choose your destiny.
So imagine my surprise when I come home and I see this headline. Yeah, a real kick in the dick here. It's not like we spent all this time doing a conversation about a matchup that's not going to happen anymore, right? And wouldn't it be stupid if I had edited the package already before they made the announcement? That would have been hilarious. Obviously, we wish a speedy recovery to Kevin K.O. Casey, blah, 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 etc., etc. I will say now, the rest of the jiu-jitsu world has turned into a literal Hunger Games with everybody thinking they're suddenly Katniss Everdeen. I mean, granted, it's got a fun element that Metamoris will probably still screw up in the long run anyway. But I gotta admit, the promo of it's gonna be hilarious to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vinny Mahalhaes and his opponent, Jim. Jim, the guy from that one academy down the street. Do you think that Hulk's gonna actually call the references?
Jim put you down as a reference. Does he check out? Okay. Will he sign a waiver? Okay.
Yes, if I were to have any suggestions, and you don't have to take them at all, Metamoris, but this is just what I think you do. I think that you do it Price is Right style. Now stay with me. Tell 20 contestants they made the final cut. You put them in the audience, and then you have Kenny Florian, because it's got to be Kenny Florian. He looks like a game show host already. you have them announce one by one 4 participants to come down and try and submit Vinny Mahalhaes. And if they do, then they get to play the Showcase Showdown. Genius. In fact, I don't know why we haven't been doing this. This is a great intermission. This beats 20 minutes of deleted footage. I would rather watch this than maybe even a secret match. So the best part about this whole thing is you have to beat Vinny Mahalhaes to win any money. If you lose or you draw, you get $0. Or, as the Gracies like to say, you either win or you learn what it's like to have a medical bill you can't possibly pay because Vinny Mahalhaes broke one of your arms. But a valuable lesson nonetheless. So I guess the question remains, what the hell do we do with this extra footage that we shot and no way are pissed that we have to super get rid of? So here for your viewing pleasure, but mostly mine, is a 1-minute supercut of our analysis of the matchup that would have been Kevin K.O. Casey versus Vinny Mahalhaes.
Are you excited for this match?
Not too excited, sorry.
Kevin Casey was on The Ultimate Fighter. He had some really awesome music videos with Spencer Pratt in them.
Kevin Casey's a beast in the academy and training.
Vinny's made of rubber.
Maybe he's one of those guys that has performance anxiety.
Couldn't matter less.
It might end up being somewhat of a match.
Let's stop with he's probably going to be better than we think. No, he's not. You've got a MMA rapping career to think about. Be smart about this. Tap early. Tap early and often.
I was hearing Vinny talk on some reliable podcast.
It was verbal tap.
Couldn't have been that one. No.
Hold on. Let's mute John for that for a few minutes.
Flying armbar.
Heel hook.
Armbar.
John, what do you think about that? What's that? You're wearing a crown, but the camera won't switch over because it can't hear what you're saying? Too bad.
Finally found John's greatest strength. We mute him, and all you can see is his beautiful face. It's perfect.
I don't know. Probably heel hook.
Evans, take off the crown so people know it's a different match.
Let's go ahead and jump now back to our regularly scheduled preview show with a match that definitely didn't experience a hiccup of its own.
Choose your destiny.
Our next match is, well, it was Rafael Lovato Jr. He unfortunately got injured, which is a good thing that we didn't do this podcast a week ago. But we want to send our well wishes over to Lovato for a speedy recovery.
Oh, yeah.
In the meantime, we will be treated to the jiu-jitsu of Yuri Samos versus, oh my god, he's so hot right now. That's right. He's so hot right now. He made his way back into Metamoris 5 when he wasn't in it. That's right, Keenan Cornelius. Jen Perez, do you think that this is a completely different match for Yuri now that Keenan's involved?
Yes, I was there for their match at Nogi Worlds, or not Nogi Worlds, it was actually the Pro. And I think that Keenan just opened himself up more than usual when he competed against Yuri, and I'm pretty excited about this match. I'm definitely Team Keenan.
John, this is the only gi match. Are we losing something in not having more gi matches?
For the casual spectator, the gi is really not the favorable attire to watch a match in because the grips can really slow down the match. It can make it less exciting, and also it's super technical. So if you're newer, even if you're like maybe a good blue belt level, you might still not know exactly what's going on. It just looks like a couple of guys hugging, and that could get boring pretty quick. But it also gives you a lot more options too. So it could go either way. As far as this card in particular, I actually like this one in the gi. I like both of these competitors, and I think that this stands to be a really good fight.
It is. I agree.
Kevin, how many times do we need to drink for the drinking game of the Keenan Cornelius worm guard?
Oh, you're going to get pretty wasted starting up top with the worm guard. And if mounted triangle, you have to finish your drink. I, first of all, would like to say that I'm offended as a white guy that they think they can just replace any American white black belt with any white American black belt. Like, let's have some sensitivity. Rafael Lovato and Keenan are not the same person. Please don't stereotype us all. That's all I have to say. Gracie family,
yeah.
Let's promote diversity. Let's just be an inclusive community and not maybe do all the stereotyping.
So for those of you playing at home, go ahead and mark now as the moment that Kevin Phillips was talking about diversity on our panel. Because we all know that's what we brought him for. Diversity on our panel. John, I want to ask you this. Yuri was quoted as saying, "I hope Keenan uses worm guard." Why do you think he's saying that?
So go ahead and throw this up because Keenan is dreamy. So I think that's good that he said that, for one, just because it's kind of crazy to me how Keenan is promoting this worm guard. Like, clearly he's trying to make something from it, like either get some financial gains by being the only person that's doing it and using it at a high level, or whatever he's trying to do with it, but he's using it all the time. And it's actually very, very effective. So it's always crazy to me if someone's in Keenan's division and they know they're going to probably go up against him, and they have no counter to the worm guard, and they seem just a little bit perplexed when they come to it, it's crazy. It's like you know he's going to use this. So at least that tells me that Yuri has probably been working on some counters to it. Which is good, because if you don't have counters to that, then he's probably at least just going to sweep you all day long, if not get a dominant position and submit you. So that's exciting to me. I hope that Yuri does bring his A game, and he has been practicing for the worm guard, because if not, it'll be tough.
Jen, I'm interested to ask this. Let's assume that you were fighting on Metamoris. And I'm sorry, hold on. They'd have to remember women do jiu-jitsu. You're competing at Metamoris, and they tell you maybe about 10, 15 days out that your opponent's changed. How much does that change your training?
I don't think it changes much, because like when you go in to compete, I really just try to focus on my game. You know, I don't feed into theirs. And I think the problem with the same thing that Evan said is that, you know, when you go in, for example, like let's say an opponent goes in and competes against Keenan, they know he's going to use his worm guard against them. You know, you'd think that they could like go around it or try not to fall into the worm guard, but it's, I guess, inevitable. But I don't think I'd change up my training. I just continue to train hard and go in and just play my game.
Kevin, are you conceding any possibility for Yuri to take this out? Because maybe, just maybe, what if Keenan is not so hot right now?
First of all, don't even say it out loud, Raph. Whenever Yuri Suos is across the mat from you, there's a chance you're going to lose, and there's absolutely a chance you're going to lose hard via some sort of submission. That said, I don't see it happening. That's just not what happens when Keenan gets the bright lights on him and he starts to enjoy the time. And let's not forget, 5 grappling, these two met in a gi match, and at one point Keenan had Yuri in the crucifix. So not a great track record for them in the gi. I actually think the gi is what's going to give Keenan the edge. Not hashtag boring. Not hashtag boring.
Wouldn't that be hashtag not boring?
Yeah. Don't get into technicality.
Oh, you don't know the internet, John.
Let's go down the panel. Let's give how you guys think this match will end, who will win, and if so, by how. Minichi, will have you start up top.
I think that since it's gi, it's going to be a slower game. I think that Yuri's going to be worried about defending worm guard, and they'll slow it down. And honestly, I don't know too much about Yuri, so I fully expect it to go decision.
Okay.
No winner and draw.
Jen.
I don't think it'll go to decision. You know, I think Keenan's gonna come in. He's gonna fight hard. He lost his last match against Yuri, and he wasn't too happy about that loss. So I really think that he's gonna come hard. I say he'll take Yuri's back and submit him.
Jevons.
I do see this one going the time limit, but I mean, I could also see a finish. I would love to see a finish, but oh man, they're just so close. Yuri's such a beast. He's really physical, and he's got great cardio. He's strong, and he's very quick too. His guard passing is quick. Man, I just don't see a finish happening, but I hope I'm wrong, because it would be very exciting to see a real conclusion put to this.
Kev, what do you got for us?
Keenan via triangle choke.
I think that'll do it for this match.
Choose your destiny.
Our next match is Rory MacDonald versus JT Torres. I, for one, am excited to see JT returning, but how excited are you seeing Rory MacDonald in the Metamoris form of competition? Kev, I ask you this.
I can't wait for his slow, annoying, D-baggy speech after, where he's explaining why he lost to JT Torres. And think, I think his training was probably more focused, but I'm a warrior.
This is how the Rory impression works. It's this. Most people, they actually turn like this when they're addressing somebody. Rory did this. I would like to call out my next opponent. And that next opponent is maybe you. Like, that's how it is. You feel the burden is on JT to be the personality in this fight, Amici?
Oh, Kevin was just jumping at that. Do you see that?
We clearly know where Kevin stands on this. There's not a question here.
I mean, Rory's star power, MMA star power, is drawing people in, is a great way for people who might not be as familiar with JT as they should be, because I think that, for whatever reason, I don't think he's gotten the shine that he should. He's just an amazing competitor, so fun to watch. So yeah, I mean, I do have a question. What's the size difference on these guys right now? Do you know?
Large and extra large? I don't know. I mean,
technically
much bigger, right? Because he cuts down to 170, so he's probably walking around 190 or above.
Insider info that he's walking around 210.
Wow. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
and
I think
he's tall too.
Because the anti-jiu-jitsu type thing that a lot of the a lot of MMA guys play. But the thing is, Rory does train jiu-jitsu. I just think JT's on another level. So, I mean, it could be a stall fest, but, I think JT's just too aggressive. I think he wants it too bad.
I think you bring up a nice point here, Amici, in that Kevin and I are definitely making a plea for Metamoris to do a red carpet that we'll gladly host or for rivals. But I think there also needs to be a weigh-ins, because I'd love to see Metamoris go, what do you weigh today? Good enough.
Perfect. Yeah, it's not a traditional weigh-in. You don't get canceled at the match. It's like weighing in at, oh my God, Josh Barnett. This just says a Dodge Ram 1500. Doesn't even have a number.
Like, he just breaks the scale and they give him a high five. Like, good job. Right next to their little counter full of steroids. They're like, you can take some if you like.
Oh, by the way, here's a little something for your trouble. Thank you very much. Please shoot up before the match.
We don't test for these. Anyway, I want to ask this over to John. A lot of people are so complimentary of JT's game, and we do know that Rory is a great competitor in the UFC. Are we overlooking what Rory brings to the table in this match?
Rory, hold on a second. Let me make this more apropos. Here we go. The hipster glasses.
Oh, okay. I'm worried that it was going to make too much sense without any kind of visual enhancement.
Well, now you know. So this is the Rory match we're talking about.
Okay.
So Rory brings athleticism and size to this, and he does train no-gi all the time, obviously for MMA. So I'm not really sure where his pure jiu-jitsu is in terms of how proficient he is with it, but man, even a much smaller JT Torres, I just don't see him losing this one. I'm not even not losing, but just not even letting it going to a tie. I think he'll be able to. He might not be able to out-wrestle Rory, because Rory is very good wrestling, but even just running in and pulling guard, he should be able to get the submission, I would think. So, I mean, JT is just extremely good. He is elite, and I'd just be so surprised to see him not finish Rory in this one.
All right, and let's go over to Jen. Jen, who do you think's going to take this?
You guys, I really do think that that I gotta go.
What? What do you mean you have to go? What the shit? No one's left in the middle of a prediction.
That was awesome.
But all right, well,
strong.
Can I say my opinion then? Is that what we're gonna do?
Go for it, man.
I'm not interested, but oh sure.
I guess JT's gonna win, and I think it's gonna be by, fuck it, let's say footlock. I mean, what the shit, man? That was weird, right?
That was weird.
Well, you know what? It's a good thing. We've only got one more match. We want to thank Jen Perez for being part of our panel here. Jen, you were awesome, and I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry you had to get out of here, but we will continue on in your stead. Thank you. No applause for me. It's cool. I do this just for the art.
Choose your destiny.
Let's look at our final match. which is the main event between Sakuraba and Renzo. Let's go ahead and start up top, and let's go ahead and ask Amici. Amici, what are your expectations for this rematch?
I think it's going to be slower paced, but I just think the star power between both of them is just going to be, I mean, I want to see it. I'm not going to lie. I've heard a lot of people say, why would they do this? And the match should happen years ago. But personally, myself, I always love to watch Renzo. Just, if anything, just for the pre and post interviews alone, I like having Renzo involved in the card. I think it's main event due to the name alone, obviously, instead of maybe the relevance, but I'm going to enjoy watching it.
Kev, can you describe what your emotions were and how you reacted when you heard about this rematch?
I mean, obviously I cried from joy because I have a lot invested in its history. Sakuraba and Renzo, I'm excited about the fight, but I can't say that I was like overwhelmed. I think the big saving grace here is that they made it no-gi. I think that's going to be huge in upping the value of what it really looks like speed-wise. So I'm excited about that. I think, Sakuraba submitted Renzo like 40 years ago. So,
John, if we're looking at the difference in styles, a lot of people have said that Renzo has been continuing to train, where Sakuraba,
kills
maybe
people.
Hasn't as much. Maybe he's enjoyed a few cigarettes, chilled. Do you see that there's an advantage maybe for Renzo now?
I do. I'm sure Sakuraba is. I'm sure his training has been going great at the hospice or wherever he is.
Uncalled for. How dare you?
No, and I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about damage taken from MMA matches, because this poor guy has just been through the ringer. Like, I don't know if you remember the last days of, I think it was Dream, where they were still having him fight. It was not that long ago, and even the fans that love him over there were like maybe he should retire, because he just got knocked out horrifically, and probably not the best thing. And I don't think he really maybe even necessarily knows that he's in this match. So
what parts are you making that aren't offensive? Because you're making it seem like what you're saying isn't offensive.
All joking aside, I hope he's better, and I hope that this hasn't really wrecked him physically. I mean, Renzo just hasn't taken near the damage. Renzo hasn't had so many fights, especially recently, and Renzo is a fantastic grappler, so it seems like a rough match to me for Sakuraba, but I don't know. Maybe he's been training like a beast, and maybe he's better than he was even physically in his last MMA matches, in which case we could have a match on our hands.
One of the things that Renzo has been saying is that all of the guys were making fun of him, saying that he was fat, saying that he was out of shape, and that he couldn't hang with the guys anymore. And Renzo's made a point of now telling people those same guys who were talking crap about him are the ones getting submitted by him in his gym. Do you feel that he's got that passion back again, and if so, why?
I do believe he has the passion back, because more so than even 25 years ago, he's got an ego and a brand to protect. And genuinely more so than 20 years ago, which seems shocking. Though I caution him, the last Gracie that went up against a previous formidable foe in the Metamoris format did not fare very well.
John, what was it that made their first match so epic?
Well, I mean, Sakuraba, this is when he was on his way to becoming the Gracie killer, right? I mean, he was destroying all the Gracies, and it's just really shocking, because this was at a time when Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, was on the rise. It looked unstoppable, and all of a sudden you had this guy that wasn't huge in comparison to the Gracies. He came in and kind of beat them at their own game with the grappling. So that was really exciting, and it was just kind of, I think it caught a lot of people off guard. And Sakuraba is fantastic, and it's great to watch him compete. So I don't know, like I said, it really comes down to how much he's been training, what kind of physical condition he's in, and I mean, I'm not just talking about conditioning. I'm talking about the beatings he's taken. So if he's fresh and he's been training, and being that it is no-gi, he has a much more catch wrestling style. So I mean, that's how he was able to catch Renzo in the first place. He got that Kimura I think it was off of a body lock, which was sick. You just don't see that often. He was able to just spin around super quick and break Renzo's arm, and Renzo is just batshit insane. He would definitely 100% let that happen again.
Actually, I just want to raise something though about the damage. I do think that Sakuraba did. I mean, if you look at the fights, he has taken so many headshots, but I feel like since there isn't striking here, well, yeah, sure, mileage getting your ass kicked it just sucks, period, and does add miles to your body. But I feel like it was mitigated to a large extent due to the fact that, he's not going to be getting hit.
Yeah, I mean, there's no strikes allowed for sure, but it's just...
Not if you ask Rory MacDonald.
You think, well, there's not a lot of striking involved in grappling, and there isn't. There's no striking, should be no striking involved. But I mean, recently I had a teammate who had a couple of concussions back-to-back and has been foggy ever since and has not really been able to even train normal. And also recently, Jared Weiner, who's in Philly, he had multiple head injuries and has still, I don't think he's still 100% recovered, and it's been quite a while. So those are the things that bother me. Like, I mean, Sakuraba, he definitely could have taken a few concussions over a short period of time and really not have been able to prepare for this match very well at all.
Let's go ahead and talk about how we think that this match is going to go. Why don't we go ahead and start with John? John, how do you see this match playing out?
Renzo's wily as shit. Sakuraba is a big question mark for me, and I know Renzo's been training. He owns his own gym, and it's a really popular gym, and he has got a lot of top people there, so he's just hitting it hard with a lot of his top guys. And, I mean, that's kind of not really stopped since he quit fighting MMA, too. So, Renzo tends to be a little bit lazy as far as strength and conditioning is concerned, so I guess that's always an issue. And, of course, they're both older, but I really don't see Renzo losing this one unless Sakuraba comes in amazing shape and has really been putting in his work for the straight grappling. So definitely I see Renzo submitting him, probably with a guillotine choke.
I'm going with Renzo. Not via guillotine. I think it's going to actually have to be a little bit more creative, and you ready for perfect symmetry? Via Kimura. He's going to turn it around. He's going to turn it around. Hashtag Kimura. I can't spell that.
I'm torn between the dreaded draw due to the time limit, but I'm going to go with Renzo. Renzo sub. What's the sub going to be? Play it out of my head.
Walk us through every second of your thought process. Don't leave a second unturned.
Yeah, I gotta kind of steal from Evans, and I'll go with the guillotine. That team is such a strong guillotine, and I think that maybe trying to get Sakuraba down, because it might be a challenge, and if that's the case, that's something you can do from snap down, and when you're getting taken down, lock up the guillotines.
As much as I hear both you and Jevons making sense, part of me was already on the same page with Kevin, where I was like, I don't really see it as feasible, but I want to see it. I want to see a Kimura finish. Because you know why?
Why?
I want to see a third chapter in this story.
Oh, no.
Kimura's only match. Kimura only match.
There you go.
85 is going to be the best match you've ever seen.
We don't have anyone on Sakuraba's side on this panel?
No. But you know what? Society might be, because there's a lot of people who want to see him win. Because a Gracie Killer, it's a great hashtag to have, right?
Yeah, I'm non-Gracie, so I guess I should take Sakuraba.
Kevin is definitely Team Sack.
You just changed his opinion for him, John?
Yeah, he did, because he created the best hashtag we've had all show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Team Sack.
I like the way you put the C in there.
We're devolving.
Guys, I want to thank you all for hanging out with us today on Around the Mat. We will see you guys next time, and I also want to give a big thanks to our good friend Jen for sticking around. Jen Perez is so great for doing this, and we're sorry that she had to go a little bit earlier, but we look forward to having her back on the show. So keep it locked down here, and guess what, you guys? Maybe if you're good, we'll do some more exclusive footage for the recap shows. I don't know. We'll see. All right, you guys. Until next time. Catch you.
What is it? Yeah.
Team Sack.
You can always tell the parts that are going to end up on the cutting room floor.
This is not one of those parts, though, right?
They can't all be winners, but this one was.
You know, Kev, in your case, I'd settle for anything being a winner. Like,
That's
a statement actually being
1 in
something I can
10.
use. Only people saw the fucking footage we delete from this.